Hi, my fancians. Welcome back. Hope you are doing well. Those who don't know me, I whisper you stories so you can relax and imagine as if it's real. Let's begin today's story. Once in a quiet village, tucked between two blue mountains, lived a young boy named Leo. Leo was a dreamer. While the other children played football or climbed trees, Leo sat by the river and watched the water. He didn't just see water, he saw stories. He saw the way the sunlight danced on the waves like tiny golden people. And he heard the way the stones at the bottom whispered secrets as the current pushed them along. Leo's village was famous for one thing, the great clock. It stood in the middle of the town square, taller than any house. It didn't just tell time, it controlled the seasons. When the clock ticked loudly, the flowers grew. When it slowed down, the leaves turned orange and fell. The villagers loved the clock, but they were also afraid of it. They believed that if the clock ever stopped, time itself would end. One Tuesday, something strange happened. Leo was sitting by the river when he noticed the water was moving backward. He rubbed his eyes, but it was true. Then he heard a sound, a deep metallic clack. It was the great clock. It had skipped a beat. Leo ran to the village square. A crowd had already gathered. The mayor, a very tall man with a round belly and a very small hat, was shouting, "Someone must fix it. The gears are stuck." But everyone was too scared. The clock was magical and no one wanted to touch it for fear of being turned into a statue or disappearing into the past. Leo, however, wasn't afraid. He felt a strange pull towards the clock, as if the whispers he heard in the river were now coming from the tall wooden tower. "I'll go," he said quietly. The mayor looked at him. "You're just a boy, Leo. You don't even have a watch." "I don't need a watch to know something is wrong," Leo replied. The mayor sighed and gave him a heavy iron key. Leo walked to the base of the clock tower and opened the small creaky door. Inside it smelled like old paper and oil. He climbed a long winding staircase. At the very top, he found the heart of the clock. It was a room full of giant brass wheels, some as big as a car, others as small as a button. In the center was a massive pendulum that swung back and forth. But it wasn't swinging right. It was hitting something small, silver bird, that had somehow gotten stuck in the gears. The bird was beautiful, with feathers that looked like they were made of moonlight. It was a time bird, a creature that lived between the seconds. Its wing was caught in a tiny silver gear. Leo realized the clock hadn't broken on its own. It had stopped to save the bird. If the gears kept moving, they would crush the delicate creature. "Don't worry, Leo whispered. He reached into the machinery. His hands were small and quick. He carefully moved one of the smaller wheels backward. The bird gave a tiny cry and pulled its wing free. As soon as it was loose, it flew a circle around Leo's head, leaving a trail of silver glitter, and then disappeared through a window. The clock began to tick again. Tick-tock, tick-tock. It was louder and happier than before. others cheered. The mayor hugged him so hard Leo's feet left the ground. But Leo didn't care about the fame. He went back to his spot by the river. That evening, as the sun began to set, the time bird returned. It landed on Leo's shoulder. It didn't make a sound, but in Leo's mind, he heard a voice. It told him stories of the beginning of the world and of the things that hadn't happened yet. From that day on, Leo wasn't just a boy who watched the water. He was the keeper of time. He knew that time wasn't just about minutes and hours. It was about kindness and knowing when to stop and listening to the whispers of the world. The village lived happily for many years, and whenever the great clock skipped a beat, they did not panic. They just looked for Leo, and Leo for the beauty hidden in the gears. The end. I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe me for more stories, and do also suggest what story you would want to hear next. Have a lovely day. Stay safe. See you until next time. Bye bye.